Since 2012, rhinos have succumbed to the lustful eye of human nature in South Africa's national parks. Due to the increase in demand for rhino horns in China, Vietnam, and countries that believe in myths associated with their power. It is believed that they can be used for various unproven medicinal benefits and as of recent, a symbol of status. Over the past 10 years, a startling number of the majestic beast has been ravished to death, but the fate of the perpetrators is often marred with the same outcome.
Peer pressure from friends, then that led me to poaching.
They heard gunshots and then they went there and then they found people shot there.
Ku cinca swa ku tala ngopfu a ka ha tsakisi nchumu evutomi bya ha tsakisi vele.
Locals are approached by professional, organized criminals with promises of money and a better life. Some are killed by the anti-poaching units and some imprisoned, leaving their families without breadwinners and worsening the vicious cycle of the socio-economic issues that have entangled them in such criminal activities. Joseph's brother was shot in the nearby game reserve, although it is not clear whether it was park officials or his peers who ended his life. The fact remains, a life was lost.
I realized that my brother was in poaching when we find that at home he's having money and then he's trying to do things he didn't do before. He was becoming more responsible here at home.
Nome umelele ngozi epark no endla ro vona hi vanhu va ta va rila ni nga twisisi swa ku humelele yini nimpundzu leswaku nkarhi wun'wanyana I wa famba loko munhu wa ku tiphuzele byala a famba emathavhele a vuya nimpundzu se ni swi teka swa nkarhi wun'wana I ethavhele ephuzeni ka byala se loko nimpundzu ni twa inkosi vanhu va rila se na mina u rila bizangi swi ni khoma kahle vhele se ni swi fila swa ku ni something leyi nga humelela a ni swi hleketa a ni nga feel kahle swi nga ni khomi kahle a ni nge mvutisi swa ku loko no mvutisa nkarhi wun'wana a ta sika a ni hi ba ni holovisa se ni titwa swa ku se no miyela ende kumeleni ka mina ni vona swa ku a bizanga swi ni pfuna hi nchumu swa ku sweswi se ni lahlekele hi wanuna evutomi bya mina bya ha tsakisa.
Yeah, so my name is Nunu Jobe from Gwajobe, and the ex-poacher, in fact. And even though it was poaching for port, but I think that's where it comes. That's where we all start. And I think then I grew up there, and peer pressure from friends, then that led me to poaching. But again, you just go and do it, not really like knowing what is good and what is bad about it.
Growing up with my brother was very nice. He was a person who led me all the way. He was a person who would lead me in most of the things because this is a person whom I looked up to, and he was the only male figure before me. A person who was very intelligent in such a way that one day he came home knowing how to drive a car. The second day, came home knowing how to operate a TLB. Then he know how to be a carpenter. Most of the things that he knew, there is no one who taught him. So I looked upon him as my brother to teach me all the things I need as a man.
A ni tiphina ngopfu rirhandzu ra Henry two a ri nandzika ngopfu a ri tsakisa ri ri kahle vhele a ni hanya kahle a swi nandzika ene swa ku nome nga kumeka la hala paka ni nga swi tivi a nga vhela loko a famba swa ku ya kwini a nga ni byeli suka a famba a ni tibyela swa nkarhi wun'wana yi thavheli ku ze ni ka byala a swi ni fila swa ku nkarhi wun'wana ku na la a nga ya kona mara ni nge mi vutisi a fambile nkarhi wun'wanyana a vuya ni mali leyi ni nga a ni byela swa ku nkarhi wun'wana yi tirhela khomela maphisi job wa yakayaka ti byela swa ku nkarhi wun'wana yi hola mara ni swi fila swi ri ni mi vutisa ni nga mi vutisi a famba vhele vutomi byi tsakisa byi nandzika vhele ni dya xin'wana lexi xi lavaka ni nga choti nchumu mara ku veni se kumeka a fambile a ya la a va nga ha vuyanga laha ni nga swi vonaka swa ku vutomi bya tika a swi tsakisi.
Could this be a result of the historical disposition of land with the aim to conserve wildlife that led to this human-animal animosity? Or could it be the fact that indeed the need for basic survival comes second to safety, which is the reason that makes people to agree to momentary pleasures like these that come with an almost death sentence?
I carried on poaching, though I knew that now I want to learn more and do something with conservation. And I remember I was running to hell if I come across anti-poaching unit, because I didn't want anything wrong to happen to me, because I knew that this is what I want to do. But then lucky enough, then I got through it and didn't really hook me into to big poaching. I think after a few years, then I joined the environmental club. That's where I'm very passionate about teaching the young ones. Because I think the whole thing lies with the future, with the kids. If they can be taught very well about conservation, we won't have a problem that we have, that we're facing today. And again, we can't keep on blaming the past. When I went there, that's where I saw the beauty inside Mkuzi, which is my neighboring park. And then I asked myself, really, how lucky are these white people to visit these beautiful places?
My brother was shot in what was expected to be a poaching activity. I received a call from my mom, but last night they were shot. And when I inquired what happened, they said they were found inside the borders of Kruger National Park, and then they were at the police. They heard gunshots, and then they went there, and then they found people shot them. There is no clarity as who shot them, what happened. My mom was very, very touched in such a way that if it wasn't for all of us standing up, and for her, she was gonna end up depressed or sick. So we stood by her, and then we assured her that even though it's a loss, but we will try to cover up where he left. My mom was touched in the very, very, very bad way.
A swi ni khomangi kahle leswaku vanhu va khuluma va ku lexi a xi bomba hi mali leyi a xi yi kuma sweswi swi tisa a xi hlupheka a swi nga ni khomi kahle vhela hambi sweswi vutomi bya mina a byi tsakisi.
The stigma, it was very huge, because myself as a person, I used to work at a game reserve, so when I tried to apply it, even though I didn't try, my name was still there because I do have personal numbers in the reserves and stuff. When the time came to apply, so there was this notion that I come from the family of that guy who died because of poaching and stuff. So the stigma was always there. I ended up some of the posts not applying on them because I knew these guys who are working at the reserve, they keep a list of poachers. So one of the names in the list was that of my brother. I know that's how they operate. So I know that when I go there and apply and do stuff like that, at the end of the day, people who are from this village or the neighboring village might notice me and then stigmatize me and make me not get the job or somewhere somehow. So that affected me personally as a person and other people who are related to us.
Perhaps the most realistic perception is that we create our own fate. There are beliefs around rhino poaching that are common to the locals, but culture dictates that "Mihloti ya swipejani ayiweli hansi," a Xitsonga proverb which means karma will catch up with you eventually. There is an absurdity towards rhino poaching when one considers the prospects of danger around it. Yet there is an almost entrepreneurial aspect that stimulates the poacher to risk it all.
Poaching affected our community in a very negative way. Many of our fathers and brothers lost jobs. They were working, some were working as rangers, some were working as tour guides, and then now they are not working. Some of our brothers now are disabled, some are on wheelchairs, some are left with criminal records where they can't even work anywhere. So what they are left with is their only opportunity is to go back to crime.
While we are aware that land dispossession and other socioeconomic reasons are the major cause for wildlife poaching, miseducation has a huge impact on the perceptions related to poaching. Unlearning these indoctrinations is a journey.
The term poaching was given to Africans, and we can utter it all the time as Africans and say poaching and poaching, but to someone who thinks very deeply, it's still the same as hunting. But how do we do it better for our children? And it's up to us to understand that since we adopted some other people's things or other people's culture, then let us look at how can we do it sustainably, or if it's really harming our game reserves or our Africa, then it's not good enough for Africa. But again, as I said, the terminology doesn't really favor Africans. I don't like poaching, but again, there is still big hunting that is happening that involves something that most of us we don't have. I'm saying to my brother, don't go and kill the animals.
A ku na munhu loyi ni blemaka swa a ni vheli swilo leswi a nga tisayinela swona swa ku vutomi bya yena hinkwabyo leswi a lavaka ku hanyisa swo vhela, and hambi no n'wi khuta vhela a nge pfumeli, se a ni nge blame munhu.
I do blame a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people that I blame are the people who are loaded, the people who have money. The people who have money, they go around encouraging things that they know that at the end of the day, they are the only ones who are gaining from those things. They come with a lot of money, come around poaching little boys, promising them a lot of money, showing them luxury life, and at the end of the day are the lives of those boys that are in danger. Like my brother fell into a trap because of some few rents, some few thousands he was getting. It looked like it was a nice thing, and then up until he lost his life. So that's what I blame. I blame most the people who are funding this thing. I think if I were to choose, I would choose that maybe this game reserve were not supposed to be near us, because at the end of the day, what we see, we only see tourists from overseas coming to enjoy them. There is no way in which we are enjoying it, only looking for job, which each and every day our brothers and fathers are losing because of this thing of poaching.
The biggest concern with conservation is lack of education. And I think another one, it's still, I think the past, still has a bigger role to play, because they still have a lot of people that are still holding grudges with what happened before, where people were forced and removed. But again, we can't go and build our houses inside Follows now. And then what should we do? Let us try to find a way that we can benefit and sell those elephants without people going inside. So, and we need to be creative and find opportunity and benefit from them than always like fighting, because we'll never go back. Which I'm hoping, if we can educate the future, of which is the youth, our problem can be reduced.
We cannot use the same paintbrush on everyone, just as we would not compare bravery between soldiers in war. There are many with the same background and with similar circumstances, but they fathom the power of the bush that lay in front of them. They serve as soldiers who protect the land of their ancestors. The Nyalazi campsite is home to these soldiers.
The Nyalazi campsite, so it's one of my second baby, in fact, into tourism business. So another one is in the Africa Trails. That's where we do the walking inside the park. But in this one, I dream about it. But I think we're still fortunate as the children of Africa, that we're living in a developing country. So that ING at the end telling us it's still happening. So there are chances. And to add on that one, this is not my business. So as there's this kind of thing like mistrust and stuff. So I follow cats a lot. So when I started that, this was all like my idea. But when Nomvelo spend time with me, then we come and spend time together, like we sleep here in a tent and work hard. Then I said, I'm going to give you 50% of my business, because we have babies together. So this business is for me and her. So I said, take 50% of my business. You know how it works in I don't know in other countries, but in South Africa, then they always say you don't look after our girls, of which is lies. I think as African, we know how to look after our girls.
Ku cinca swa ku tala ngopfu a ka ha tsakisi nchumu, evutomi bya ha tsakisi vhele. Swa tikomba swa ku vhele lahlekeliwile na wanuna vhele. Swa ku tala leswi ni chodelaka, leswi ni swi lavaka ni nga swi kumeki, mara nkarhi lowu a hanya a ni swi kuma. Swa ku a ni nga chodeli nchumu, mara sweswi vutomi bya mina bya tika ene plus a ni tirhi. Se swa ni tikela vhele, a ni tsakisi nchumu. Mina kombela swa ku tanihileswi van'wanyani vavasati lava nga ni vavanuna lava va tirhaka entirho lowu, na vona swa ku na a wu kahle, ni kombela swa ku na va swi tshika, leswaku va ta hetelela va hlekele hi vavanuna na vo se xiyimo xa ku xi tika xi fana na mina. Entirho lowu wa hala a wu kahle, wa swiharhi a wu kahle, a va wu tshika. Mana wanuna loko vona swa ku a nga na mali, mani tiyisela u tshama na yena, loko hlaya swa ku wa mi rhandza u tiyisela, hayi swa ku wanuna u mi lava loko a ri ni mali. I xiyimo lexi xa tika.
What I can advise to young boys or girls who might think of doing something like that is that anything that's illegal, it has some severe consequences, more than what you think. If you think you can get that money and get that car and get those fancy clothes and then get your friends will also like you will be a celebrity and stuff. But at the end of the day, the legacy of pain, of suffering, and the legacy of that criminal record that you'll get, or maybe end up dead, that pain will be left with your family forever. If you are suffering now, it's just a season, and then see a season does pass, but that record will stay with you forever. And if you passed on now, the people whom you leave behind will be left with that pain, and they will remember that one day there was this person and he died because of this. And when times goes by, times change. What you are dying for now, or what you think that you better die than doing nothing, and then in the near future, 20 years, 10 years to come, it will be look like you died for nothing. Even if the prices changes, you might die now for 100,000, and then 10 years to come, you find that 100,000 is nothing. Nothing is left for us, and then only pain, suffering, and all the family has that stigma. People, they can choose to look us in the way that they want to look. Sometimes they will stigmatize you and call you names because of what happened one day with my brother. So it's not a good thing. I won't like anyone to go through what we went through as a family.
I'll say my advice to all Africans when we speak about poaching, hunting and killing. Let us remember what is hunting, where if you hunt something, then you eat the whole thing. So, I would never stand a dead animal if you only remove only like less than even 10% of that animal. So that is not the Africanism. I think I take it one step at a time with Nyalazi campsite, and then again it's I'll do it as much as I can to send awareness to others that it's possible. So, and that was another reason why I resigned from working, because I don't want to die and leave a lot of things behind, but I want to leave like a legacy behind. So if Nyalazi campsite is a success, I'm sure it would be a story that someone can take it